Have you ever wondered why, whether you're in a meeting or a classroom, you end up doodling on the paper right in front of you? We've all done it, right? One moment you're paying attention, and the next suddenly you're drawing in the margins. And yet, once you snap back, you find yourself a little more alert, a little sharper. That isn't a coincidence, but rather a core part of being human.
Human beings?
Human beings.
In this video, I want to dive into the psychology behind making art and why our brains actually crave the creative process. Earliest recorded history of man isn't books or scrolls or anything like that. They're paintings all along the walls of caves. And while, yes, given the fact that they didn't really have a written language, it was kind of impossible to do anything other than that.
So we got?
But one of our ancestors were onto something with creating images from their brains that we could still utilize today. My name is Britton, and I have a master's in animation and been a professional artist since 2017. Most importantly, though, isn't the credentials, it's just the fact that I love art in all forms, and I can talk about it till I'm blue in the face.
Till I'm blue in the face.
We've been seeing a growing trend in the automation of the creative industry, and I wanted to take a step back and look at the psychology itself of actually creating art by hand. To get it out of the way, I made a quick bar graph to show the benefits of making art by hand versus using any form of generative content creation. As you can see, the results are shocking. Not really. Anyway, at the end of the video, I will circle back to the generative AI and discuss it a bit more. But for now, let's focus more on the human part of it all. Yeah?
I believe people are trying to be good.
As humans, we are innately creative at birth. Give a child a crayon and they will, for better or worse, depending on your availability of paper at the time, draw on anything.
I missed.
What does that mean?
I missed.
Not only will they just draw, but they won't have a care in the world for the final result. Once we get to school, however, we get graded and judged repeatedly so that our focus shifts to the outcome and not the process itself.
It's all part of the process.
Over the years, researchers have dived deep into the benefits behind the process of creating art. And with scientific advances, we also can now more easily quantify these results. Going back to my initial note on the cave paintings, in the Journal of American Art Therapy Association, researcher Girija Kamal notes that our brain is a predictive machine.
What is he? A machine?
Both consciously and subconsciously, our brains want to imagine what is coming so that it can prepare for it. She found that when someone is depressed, usually their brain is focused on the immediate negative realities and scenarios. Art, however, allows someone to imagine the possibilities and the future beyond that of the present moment. This imagining helps push back other intrusive negative feelings. Kamal's study isn't the only one, and there are plenty more than what I'm even going to discuss here. In Applied Cognitive Psychology in 2009 by Jackie Andrade, their study found that the act of doodling helped improve memory and retention in the subjects. Then in 2010, from the connection between art, healing, and public health, their tests found that the creation of art aided in the distraction from negative thoughts and also reduced levels of depression, anxiety, and stress.
Sounds good to me.
And as much as I love to see all these positives, and though I am a creative, I also am a very analytical individual who loves his cold, hard facts.
That's a raw fact.
So then I need to know exactly how all of these benefits occur.
The medical technology.
In 2016's Journal of American Therapy Art Association, their study found that regardless of skill level, 45 minutes of creating art lowered the cortisol of every single one of the subjects.
Every single one.
For those that don't know, cortisol is a steroid hormone that your adrenal glands make and play a big part in our stress regulation. While super low cortisol levels aren't really ideal either, high cortisol is a direct cause of increased levels of stress. And I don't know about you guys, but I have a bit more stress than I would like in my life, and so having the means to lower our cortisol is a net positive to me.
I'll take it.
Then in 2017's journal, The Arts in Psychotherapy, they found something interesting with the medial prefrontal cortex. This part of the brain is what we refer to as the reward center and generally boosts our focus and memory. What they found was that creating art actually increased the blood flow to this region of the brain and stimulated it further. Diving even deeper into the brain, major medical universities such as Stanford and Vanderbilt have done extensive MRI studies on the brain itself. What they've found is that art actually stimulates both hemispheres of the brain. Pop culture has made most people think that the creative side is the right and the logical is the left, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The fact that both hemispheres are being activated and actively stimulated and fully engaged increases the strength of the corpus callosum. Imagine a thick bundle of fibers connecting the two halves of your brain, and by strengthening that connection, it leads to better problem solving and regulation of emotions. As if that weren't enough,
but wait, there's more!
A study back in 2010 showed that art therapy aided in children with cerebral palsy to actually be able to speak more intelligibly. In 2025's The Neuroscience of Creativity, they discussed the idea that the individual is able to vent negative emotions by projecting them through various creative mediums. This then results in improved mood and lowered feelings of depression. Plus, although still early, there are a handful of studies actively exploring the impact that art has on Alzheimer's. We are seeing that early intervention of art therapy can possibly slow the onset of dementia. Remember at the top of this, I said I would circle back to generative AI? Well, let me paint you a picture. Okay, well, obviously a picture because this whole thing revolves around pictures, but let me talk about the process. The process of creating art generally starts with the concept. Simply, we think of the idea we want to work with. We then move to planning. We have the idea, but how do we actually plan on making this? What you would think then is the last step is execution. We have thought it out, we planned it all out, and now we just need to actually create the art. But as anyone who has ever created art knows, this is not the end. It's far from it. The next step, creative block. As much as we like to plan and concept and really think it through, there will always be something that stalls our progress. Whether it's perspective, lighting, rendering, anatomy, who knows, right? Doesn't matter. The beautiful thing, however, is what comes afterwards. The light bulb moment.
Wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Whether you just banged your head against the wall until you finally brute forced a solution, or you found some reference online, or you pulled up some books and started studying, you push through and find the solution. This is a process known as perceptual synthesis. It's our brain's ability to combine and integrate different pieces of information in order to create a new understanding. This perceptual synthesis actually releases neurotransmitters within us, the most prevalent being dopamine. While most know dopamine as simply a hormone that makes us feel good, it also fuels the brain's reward system, driving motivation and pleasure, and the desire to seek out even more rewarding experiences. This provides us with a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction that we want to just keep chasing. Which brings us back to the positive feedback loop of creating art. After you get past the creative block and you have your light bulb moment, genuinely feel good about it, quite literally just start the process again. With this new hurdle passed, you rethink what you were doing and start back at the concept phase and lead your way back to yet another block, which in turn leads to another light bulb moment. By using generative AI, however, that light bulb moment, gone, completely removed from the equation. You could think of a new prompt or adjust your current one, but the action is hollow as you yourself will not have the perceptual synthesis and satisfaction associated with it.
Makes me feel nothing. I feel nothing.
We're only beginning to research the effects of what we call doom scrolling. We've all done it, right? Get stuck on our phones, scrolling mindlessly from one tiny dopamine hit to the next. The problem with that is that we never earned that dopamine hit, and instead are just blasting through our reserves and eventually feel empty and drained after. Generative AI has been compared to this same feeling. It's quite like doom scrolling in that you keep being fed a finished product, but never truly feel satisfied, and by the end, you've depleted your own hormonal reserves and are left usually feeling pretty anxious and depressed. And for those paying attention in class, what is something that can help with feelings of anxiety and depression? Yeah, you guessed it, creating art by hand. Much like the positive feedback loop of creating art itself, all things seem to circle back to making art by hand.
Full freaking circle.
There's just so much more to art than the final product. It's the process itself that makes it special and intrinsically linked to the betterment of our own mind. Thank you for going on this journey with me as I rant about art. This is a new channel, so I have to do the obligatory ask to like and subscribe and all that.
I subscribe to Teen Beat.
But in today's world where creativity feels like it's under attack like never before, I really want to just be a positive voice in all the mess. In the future, I plan to do all sorts of videos revolving around art. Some more topic discussions like this, some insight into the process, tutorials, interviews, some serious along the lines of this one, some far more silly. Who knows? But all I know is I would love for you to stick around and find out what comes next. Thanks, and as always, be kind, kick butt, and go make some art. By hand.